Have you ever looked at your family tree and just wondered about the people behind the names? I mean, who were they, really? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a trip back in time, all the way back to a single critical year, 1776.
So look, this isn't just a chart, it's a story, a map that shows how we got from way back then to right here today. We're going to zoom in on just a few of these folks who are right there, alive to see the United States of America come into being.
All right, let's set the scene. The year is 1776. The 13 colonies are right in the thick of it. A revolution, a fight for independence that's about to create a whole new country. This isn't just some date in a history book, you know? This was the real world your ancestors were living in and day out.
Okay, so let's meet them. Let's meet the people who were right there in the middle of it all. These are the family members who lived through this absolutely incredible moment in history.
This is such a cool snapshot, isn't it? I mean, just look at the range of ages. You've got established adults, a teenager, an elder, and even a brand new baby. They were all experiencing the exact same historical events, but from totally different points of view.
So first up, we've got John Burnett IV. At 46, he's an established guy, right? He probably has a family, he's got deep roots in his community in Virginia. You have to think he would have felt the real weight of all these changes as a father trying to provide for his family.
And then there's Elizabeth Cantrell. She's only 15. Can you imagine being a teenager while your entire country is literally being created right around you? Her whole future was being decided by a war she was watching unfold as a young woman down in North Carolina.
Now this is what I find so fascinating. Check this out. Sarah Gein. Her age in 1776 was 0. She was born in the exact same year as the United States. Her life and the life of this new nation literally began together. What a perfect symbol of a new beginning.
So we've met some of the people, but what was their world actually like? It's so easy to forget just how different their day-to-day life was from ours.
You know, for most people back then, life was, well, it was physical. Everything revolved around the land, the seasons, and your immediate community. We're talking about farming, making pretty much everything by hand, and relying a lot on your neighbors and your family. It was a life of incredibly hard work with none of the conveniences we just take for granted.
And just think about information. For them, news about a battle or a huge political decision, that might take weeks to get to them by horse or by ship. So in a way, their world was a lot smaller and slower, but the things happening just over the horizon were absolutely massive.
Now, we can't know the exact reasons for every single ancestor, but this gives us a pretty good idea of the general mindset. People were coming here looking for something better, whether that was freedom, a new opportunity, or just a piece of land they could call their own. The fact they were here in 1776 says a lot about that search.
And here's the crucial thing. They weren't just watching from the sidelines. The revolution touched their lives directly. In 1775, the war starts, and Nathan Reuben Byers registers for service. The very next year, 1776, while the Declaration of Independence is being signed, another ancestor, Joshua Knapp, passes away. And by 1777, both John Burnett and Moses Baker had also registered for military service. History wasn't something they were just reading about. It was happening to them.
So how does all of this connect to us? What does it actually mean for us today that they lived through all of that? What is their legacy?
You know, a legacy isn't just about money or some piece of property. It's about the path that was paved, the values that were passed on, and the opportunities that were created by the people who came before us.
Just try to imagine the mix of fear and hope they must have felt. They were living through a war for independence, watching an old government fall apart and a brand new one being built from scratch. Their ability to just keep going in the face of all that uncertainty, that's a huge part of their story.
And that really is the main question, isn't it? When we look back at them, what can we appreciate? We can appreciate their courage, their endurance, and the simple fact that they just kept going, building families and communities right in the middle of a revolution.
Their struggles and their dreams weren't just for themselves. By setting up their lives in this new, changing land, they laid a foundation, and every single generation that came after them, all the way down to us, has gotten to build on that foundation of opportunity.
And that's the ultimate takeaway, right? John, Elizabeth, Sarah, and all the others, they weren't just names in the past. They wrote the first few chapters of a story that is still being written. A story that didn't just end in 1776, it continues right now, with you,